Terrific Tuesday, everybody. We are back. It's this guy, Sammy the Man McIntyre. We are back with Moving the Chains podcast. Hope we're rocking, hope we're rolling. We're rocking with the Monday Night Wars edition. WCW, WWE, the best wrestling boom of the mid-90s, baby. That's right, I'm a mid-90s, baby. 1997, rock and roll, brother. We are back. I'm repping my Danny Marino jersey for my Dolphin fans out there because Jordyn Brooks just got paid today. Really good player. He's a solid foundational piece for that Dolphins defense and that team. They're going to need him this year. Dolphins got a long way to go, but they're on the up and up. So it's going to be a long year. Maybe they get Arch Manning. Who knows? But he got the 3-year, $51.5 million. I'll get into that in a second. And then I want to touch on, I got to go off on this tangent. ESPN. I mean, Jesus Christ. They're a mockery. They really are. They fire Carl Ravage, but yet they keep Mina Kimes. What's going on there? So, excuse me, I just got to fix my glasses here for a second. So, I want to touch on that because we got a lot to talk about with that. So, to start off, as I just mentioned off the top, Jordyn Brooks, who was a former Seattle Seahawk, got drafted first round out of the Pete Carroll regime. He was in Seattle up in the Pacific Northwest. Then he went down to Miami. He's been a great linebacker for the Dolphins. 3 years, $51.3 million with $35 million guaranteed, according to his agent. I got that from Adam Schefter today. And then the good news is with this guy, he's led the NFL in tackles twice, 2021 and 25. And last year he was a first-team All-Pro for the first time, and he got Pro Bowl honors. So that is fantastic news for the Dolphins. However, they're going to be bad this year. Now, I'm not saying they're going to tank, because they've tried doing this before with Tua, and we saw what the aftermath of that was. So I don't know what's going to happen. However, you signing guys like this is smart by Miami. Now, I think, they sound like solid guys, right? They come from Green Bay. They're trying to implement this. But I've seen guys that go to from great organizations to crap ones. And Miami's been kind of middle. They've been always 7-9, 8-8 my whole life. Take out the 11-5 year with the Wildcat. But that's about it. And, it didn't help. They had Brady in their division for a long time, but they just didn't know what they were doing. They had quarterback problems and all this other stuff. So I do think signing Jordyn Brooks helps a lot with your defense because Jeff Havley's defensive coach. You need a guy in the middle of your defense to kind of be the red dot and kind of signal things out. But you got a long way to go down there in Miami. I think it's going to be a long year. I'm not saying you're going to get first overall pick vibes, but you might want to start cheering for Arch or somebody because that's kind of the route that you're going right now in Miami. And I'll touch on the division predictions down the road. I haven't done them yet. I've got a clear idea of what I think is going to happen, but I'll dive into that down the road. Just a sneak preview and kind of give you guys a sneak peek of what's coming up. So I saw this. I got to go off on this tangent. And I told you guys I would. So I'm going to right now. And I'm going to let it rip. I'm going to kind of be off the cuff. So ESPN today, as I got word after I got off work today, ESPN let go of Ryan Clark. Now, this was news yesterday, but I need some time to think about it. And my takeaway is, not surprised. Because, once again, he's a race baiter. He bitching at Peter Schrager. They had that on-air fiasco after the Eagle-Cowboy game when Peter Schrager, said that, CeeDee Lamb outperformed him. He had some drops in that game. And then Ryan Clark said, well, that's you didn't play the game, which I understand. So we got a little butthurt. Whatever. It's what the generation we're in. A bunch of candy-ass pansies that can't get over themselves and sense about their feelings. Big whoop. So I don't get that. I just don't understand. Okay, so you fire Carl Ravage, who has been with ESPN a long time. And he did the baseball coverage. He's been great. He's been fantastic. And I don't know him personally, but he did This is Sports Centers. He was been around ESPN a long time. So you let him go. Okay. I get it. But he didn't do anything stupid. Maybe this is just layoffs. And this happens with companies. They're trying to change things up. And I get it. But that just really bothers me. You fire Carl Ravage. But yet, you keep Mina Kimes. Does anybody realize, hey, Mina, I got news for you. Go make me a sandwich, honey. Nobody wants to hear your football nonsense. Oh, by the way, you fired Bart Scott, Tom Pelissero, and Charles Davis. Which, by the way, Bart Scott, he might be the most knowledgeable football person on there. Kept things 100. Kept things right down the damn middle. Okay? From being stupid on the air. So you fired that guy. The most sane guy that won a Super Bowl, been a part of really good teams with the Ravens and, and the Jets and all these other teams. But you let him go? So just because a guy has football knowledge and understands the game, been a champion, all this stuff, or been a really good player, you want to let him go. To keep Mina Kimes. Oh, okay. All right. Mina Kimes. You beat quarters coverage. She knows nothing about football. She's another DEI hire. And this is not discrimination towards women. She just doesn't know what she's talking about. I hit the mute button, and they're like, oh, Cam Newton, which, not surprised. He's a bumbling, stumbling idiot. He's Scam Newton for crying out loud. Although he is one of the best, most dominant college quarterbacks I've ever seen. And, for all of his shit, he didn't win a Heisman Trophy. He didn't win a national championship. He did go to a Super Bowl. He ain't a bum, okay? I just thought Cam was in all the other shit. He's got 8 baby mamas and all this other crap. That's not my problem. Still laugh when people bitch about how tired they are when they got kids. That's besides the point. Whole nother story for another day. But this just is laughable to me. I mean, what has happened with ESPN? I mean, ESPN, that I feel like a 90-year-old. Sometimes I get called that. But to think that ESPN used to be this, awesome, riveting. You get up, you eat your breakfast, you eat your breakfast, and you go, and you're eating the tune, you're watching the tunes, you're watching the ticker at the bottom. I mean, I saw a picture the other day on Facebook. They're going nostalgia stuff, and they show, the old ESPN, on the side, stuff they were going to hit on. That's what the old ESPN used to be, and it was awesome. And I'm for that, and I crave that sort of nostalgic. Because that was when it was pure, and it was real. Right? And I'm all about real. I just am in life. I have no time for bullshit. And when I hear ESPN, listen, they did this with Gruden. Now, I was told that Gruden, he wants to do play-by-play, and him and Sean McDonough didn't really get along, and I Googled it, why, and maybe that's part of it. But they cut Gruden's contract, too. So ESPN's doing this for a long time. It's not the first time it's going to happen. It's probably not the last. But I just, for my sanity, do not understand. Who's the next guy they're going to cut? Marcus Spears? They're going to get rid of him? Big Swagoo? Really? It's a mockery, man. And I don't understand what's going through ESPN's mind, Disney's mind. Are we just feminism now? Are we just woke? I don't know. I'm so over it. And I can't even watch ESPN unless Louis Riddick's on or somebody like that's knowledgeable and knows their stuff, that's been in front offices, that knows player evaluations, knows what you do for winning teams. I just can't. I can't stomach it. I can't fathom it. And I just, today at work, I was thinking, man, and I heard Dave Portnoy went off on him, and I don't disagree. I mean, listen, I get Kevin Schefter's money. I get Pat McAfee getting his money. He's a rock star. Both those guys are. Schefter and McAfee. They're rock stars, and I get that. But to not fire Mina Kimes, that's almost clowning to me. And it's almost laughable. And it's an absolute mockery. And shame on you, ESPN. Because the ESPN that I grew up on is no more. It is a joke, a mockery. I'm disgusted today. I have nothing to say. I got a souvenir before we go. I just got to put this on because it is just absolute shame. Shame. That's all I got to say. What are we doing? What world are we living in? That we can't be real and can't be honest. We're inauthentic. It's pathetic. So, it just boggles my mind that this is the world that we have come to, But it is what it is. So that's all I got for you guys today. I just want to touch on the Jordyn Brooks thing and kind of the ESPN stuff, my reactions to it also. Hope you guys are doing well. I'll give you guys some content throughout the week. Stay tuned. Hope you guys have a great night. Terrific, terrific Tuesday. Adios. Godspeed.